Hello and welcome to this special overview of Lolly Law. I'm Todd, a product designer here, and I'm going to be telling you what's new in version 2. There are many improvements throughout the system, not the least of which is speed, so let's not waste any more time. Let me show you around. So here we are at the login screen. It may look familiar to you, with the exception that you won't be signing in with a Google or Microsoft button. Instead, you can connect with those platforms later on inside of Lolly's integrations option. This traditional approach of having your own username and password removes some of the headaches related to login whenever Google or Microsoft experience an outage. We do have some basic self-help here if you do forget your username or password. If this has ever happened to you, then this should be very familiar. If, however, for any reason you need help signing in, you can contact us at support@lollylaw.com. After you sign in, you'll notice that Lolly now has a dashboard. This personalized dashboard page will highlight and summarize your upcoming events, reminders, tasks, and show some useful time tracking charts that give you a breakdown of your activity over the last week. In addition, you have access to a dashboard to see overall firm metrics. Firm metrics help to bring important discussion to items that are meaningful to your growth. Similar to old Lolly, the main navigation is on the left, and we've stayed with the same pages and workflows while also adding many improvements both visually and under the hood. We'll cover each of these sections as I take you there. The top bar is where we've placed the action menu. This is where you can create new records. You can create new records no matter where you are in the system. In the old Lolly, this was the button that had the lightning bolt icon. Remember that? The new link is more clear and just says Create New. Although we're dropping the icon, we think you will appreciate how much easier this will be. Our search feature has never been better. In the past, you had to search for contacts in the Contacts section and Matters in the Matter section. Not the case anymore. With this new search, we've combined everything into one fast and powerful feature. You can search globally and get results for contacts and matters together. This is going to make it easier and faster to find the records you're looking for. The search results are presented in full screen to comfortably distinguish results between matters and contacts. Matters will be red, contacts will be blue. Additionally, we have a search history, so you can pull up search and just click a past result if that way is faster for you. To the right of the top bar navigation, we have a new timer widget and a notifications area. The timer widget has been redesigned and improved. The most notable change is how you can set and manage multiple timers and connect the time entries to contacts, matters, and users. And we'll cover the timer widget when we get to matter time and expenses. The contacts section is very similar to old Lolly. This is the record where you store information about the person or business. A subtle change you may notice is that when visiting the contact page, the landing here defaults to a list of recent records. In the past, you may have caught yourself asking, who was I just looking for? Well then, this list is for you. We watched how many times you searched for the same record throughout the day, and now less searching is needed because you can just come here, browse this list of recent records. Within a contact record, the first area is called the snapshot. This contains the most frequently accessed information for a contact. You could compare this to the contact overview page in old Lolly. We've organized the layout a bit differently, but many of the same blocks and sections are there, including immigration-specific fields. Your contacts details are in a column on the left, and records like tasks, consultations, and matters are on the right. Something new that we've added here, underneath the contact details section, are alerts. These are color-coded status flags that let you know if any important conditions need to be reviewed. For example, your client may submit a questionnaire in the client bridge that affects their admissibility. You'll also notice down below We have social media buttons in case you are doing an assessment of your client's online presence and you want an easy way to come back to it later. As before, we have a notes block where you can put contact-specific information. This could be a guidepost for the whole team or a main area to keep relevant information about the person. There are other places to add notes in the system as well, like Journal tab, or if you want to log a phone call, you could add a time entry. All of these notes can be pulled up in the contact history later on. Moving on to Profile. This is the area that allows you to dive deeper into sections and fields related to practice-specific areas, such as immigration. In Old Lolly, this is the view of information you would see if you clicked on Edit Contact. Information from questionnaires and forms that have been synced back to Lolly will populate the fields in these sections. Alternatively, you can fill out these sections and make this information available when filling out forms. Under Documents, similar to other areas throughout the system, the Documents area allows you to upload and manage files specific to the contact record. This is the central place where you can provide team access to documents and media files for your client. By default, your account uses Lolly storage. Alternatively, you could integrate with Lolly, but you could also integrate with Microsoft OneDrive, Google Drive, or even Box Storage. As we mentioned, time entries, events, emails, and notes will appear here in a timeline that can be adjusted and filtered to your liking. This is the place you would come to find notes on an interaction or to review communications that have taken place with the contact. New to version 2 is a revised billing system that follows a more industry-standard approach to recording and tracking transactions for the client trust. When you view the Transactions tab, the system will display a summary balance for the client's trust, the contract amount, and monthly payment details, as well as the balances for each matter the client may be involved in. Below this summary information will be a view of the debit and credit transactions for that account. In addition, when you're tracking funds separately using different accounts, for example, tracking filing fees and IOLTA from the client's main trust account, you can view those details here too. There's a drop-down selector up here in the upper left of this view. The Client Bridge in version 2 is the third evolution of our client portal. We've learned from our past experience and have built this portal as part of the new Lolly. The features are now part of the same system. It leverages the same security and search functionality. The Client Bridge is not enabled for contacts by default, so you must enable it manually within this tab. To invite someone to access the portal, you check off the box Enable Bridge Access, and then fill out the activation form. Your client will get an email with instructions on how to access the portal on their end. For situations where your client does not have an email or simply you want to provide short-term access so they can fill out questionnaires and share files, simply leave out the email and then provide instructions to your client. This could be within your office, on a computer, or wherever your client is located. The Client Bridge tab gives you an administrative view of their portal with a history of their logins, questionnaires, forms, checklists, and required documents. The newest feature to the portal is Forms. You can now share actual USCIS forms with your client to fill out. When your form is attached to a matter, this is the same form you'd see under Matter, Documents, Forms. Any data that your client enters into the form is visible on your side. In addition, the forms are live and let you work together with your clients at the same time. This means that you, your team members, and clients can see each other while working in the form. There is also a chat box where you can communicate with your clients. This is a new feature that will be evolving as we continue to add all the immigration-specific forms and beyond. Another feature that is new is the Required Documents area, where you can set folders for specific files and documents you want the client to upload. You can use this area to help your client better understand and organize the documents that they need to submit to you. The client's view in the portal is more simple than what you see here in Lolly Administration. After they sign into the client bridge, they will see a portal with 7 areas: home, checklist, questionnaires, forms, files, case information, and make a payment. Starting with home, they'll see a list of the things they need to do, and then be expected to navigate around and complete their tasks. This could be as simple as completing a questionnaire or submitting a file. Completing a questionnaire is simple. They'll click Start, fill out the required information, save. When they're done, they can submit to the attorney. When submitting, your client will receive a pop-up window and must attest and confirm that the information is complete and accurate to the best of their knowledge. Once the questionnaire has been completed, a notification will be sent to the responsible party. Now, regardless if they press Submit to Attorney or simply fill out some of the questionnaire, at any time you can go to their questionnaire in the Client Bridge Administration panel and view their responses. If you believe the questionnaire is filled out or you want to help them complete it, you can change the status from Open to Accepted. And this locks the questionnaire so that your client can no longer edit the responses. On to Matters. As we mentioned earlier in the presentation, if you click on Matters, you'll see a list of cases that you've accessed. This is where you can always go to remind yourself of what you've been working on and get quick links to each of those cases. When you open up a matter, you'll notice that it's still organized into multiple tabs, starting with Overview. This should be very familiar for those of you who've used Lolly in the past. The Overview page is for high-level case details like status, team members, and the parties involved. The receipt block has been streamlined so that once you specify the receipt number, the record will automatically create a link to the USCIS website for you. Under Tasks, pretty big changes for the task area in version 2. Here you still assign and track tasks, but we default to a task board view so that you can more easily drag tasks through the workflow. For example, moving an item to In Progress, and then In Review, and finally to Done. This way, you can organize and see what status the bulk of the work is in and better plan your day. Of course, we still have the option of viewing the tasks as a list, but is no longer the default view. We still have the bulk edit feature. It is only accessible in list view when you select all or more than one item. Then the bulk edit button will appear. The bulk edit option allows you to shift dates, change assignments, the status, or delete them. If this feature has saved you time in the past, you can rest assured that we have it in the new version. For tasks that may be held up for a reason, you can still add a note to a task from within the Task Edit view. Click on a task to open it, and you'll be able to provide a commentary, instructions, or update. This is just another way you can use Lolly to stay organized and keep your team informed. On to Time and Expense. Just like in old Lolly, we track time in a standardized format, and it does not matter if your case is set to hourly or flat fee. If you enter time, LollyLaw will track it and then determine if it's billable. There are a couple of ways to add time to the software. The first way is using the Create New button. Based on what you're doing, Lolly will try to fill out as much of the time entry as it can. For example, a default title, contact name, or matter name, and the person assigned. This method may be something that the attorney uses more than paralegals. For paralegals, the timer widget will be the method of choice. You, the paralegal, wear many hats, which means that from moment to moment, you are gracefully or clumsily dancing through the many roles in the office. For this reason, you'll find that the timer widget is that start and play button you need to stay organized and worry less about timekeeping. For example, say that you begin working on a task within a case. You'll click the timer widget and it will automatically begin tracking time. Let's say that you're interrupted and and you have to take a call. You'll click the pause button here on the timer widget, enter a note, and then click Save. Click the timer widget again, and magically a new time entry is started for your call. When the call is ended, you can press the pause button again, fill out entry details like interaction type, and then press Save. To return to the previous timer, click on the Time Entry button and press play to continue tracking time. This scenario repeats over and over again throughout the day until there are multiple timers. For a full list of your timers, go to Schedule, Timers, Tracking. This is where you can see all of the timers you've done and make edits to notes or any adjustments to time you may have missed. This is a great place to come to and reflect on the day and add any additional entries before you close shop and go home. On to documents. In Old Lolly, we had a Files block in the Matter and then a Forms tab. Now it's all in one page. In Documents, you can manage all of the related files of your matter using our cloud storage on Amazon. Alternatively, you can choose to integrate with your choice of Microsoft OneDrive, Google Drive, or box file storage. If there's a storage option you'd like us to integrate with, please drop a request at support@lollylaw.com and let us know. Any forms related to your case template will appear here as well under the Forms area. You can also search and add forms manually. When opening a form, you'll see a dramatic change from Old Lolly, where we broke out questions into web forms and then you downloaded that information onto the PDF. Lolly now integrates with Reform, the new form-filling solution that handles USCIS forms and other PDF documents. This is a fantastic tool that provides some great new capabilities. For example, forms can be filled out directly in the browser and then downloaded and printed. Unlike Old Lolly, you can now just open a completely blank form and just start filling it out. And at any time during the process, you can choose to integrate with contacts in Lolly Law. At any time during the process, you can choose to sync to and from your contacts in Lolly Law. To the left of the form, you have a page thumbnail navigation. Alternatively, you can use the up and down arrows to advance through the document. Next to those buttons, there are zoom in and out buttons so that you can make the view fit your screen. Back to the side navigation panel, you'll also notice several icons. There's a chat window for communicating within the live document, and this is simply a feature to remotely assist your clients and help them fill out the form. You can see at the top there are also bubbles to indicate who's working in the form. If you're on the same page, you'll also see the current fields you're working on highlighted. We've seen this new feature save hours of time by allowing paralegals to communicate directly with clients over the web to gather their information directly through the form. Data can then be synced back to contact records in Lolly Law. This is very new, and we look forward to hearing your feedback as we continue to develop this product. A recent suggestion was to add a way to populate empty fields with NA. So we added it here. At any time, you can download the form to PDF. However, these forms contain scripts and calculations that must run in Adobe Reader or Acrobat. A frequent support issue, even in the old system, was due to the default computer settings that opened PDFs in the browser or in another app. To remedy this, we have a support article to help set your default PDF application to Adobe. If you have any form issues at all, please send them to support@lollylaw.com and include the form name, page number, item, and description of the issue. The journal. This is the central location you can go to get caught up on the recent activity in a case. The journal will display important notes and all other information like time entries, events, and any synced emails. Additionally, you can filter the list down by record type, date range, and interaction type. There is the option to view it as a timeline or as a spreadsheet. Moving on to the Schedule area. This workspace is for managing events, tasks, reminders, and time tracking. In Old Lolly, calendars were automatically created for the firm and one for each user. Now in version 2, calendars are created and managed by the account administrator to support the many scenarios and setups across firms. For example, you can have a single calendar that everyone in the firm has access to, or just one per office. Ultimately, it is up to the administrator to decide, and they can add those calendars to the system. When creating a new event, you can select which calendar you want the event to save to. Also, you have the option of linking the event to a contact, matter, or even a user. When you view any of those records, the events will show up in those areas. Under the Tasks section of Schedule, you will track and manage tasks across all of your caseload. These are the same tasks you would see when looking in a Matter workflow. When you want to see upcoming tasks and plan for the week, this is where you go. The task due dates and priority levels are sorted and can be further filtered to show you tasks completed, signed, overdue, and you can even filter by contact and matter. Administrators, you will have greater access in this area to review and manage tasks for everyone. The tasks area comes in handy when you have someone out sick. Someone else can come in here and search for upcoming or due tasks assigned to that individual and work on those items. Whatever the reason, you have the ability to manage tasks across the firm with great visibility so that important things are not forgotten or missed. When a task is assigned to someone, they will get a notification and the task will appear automatically in their schedule. This does not mean that they are the only ones who can see it or work on the task. Unlike Old Lolly, you don't have to reassign the task if someone else is working on it. For example, when the task is updated or edited, the system will log who made the change and when in the background. Those logs are then visible in the reports when the attorney or manager is doing their review. A new area of Schedule that was not in the old system is Reminders. In Old Lolly, you had only the option of making a task or an event. A reminder is different from a task or an event. For example, a task is good for when you want to delegate something and you want to track when and who completes it. An event is used when you want to set a block of time in your schedule. Both of those have problems because things change, like if your staff changes. Events or tasks you did not want to go missing could simply fall through the cracks. So we've added a third option. This is Reminders, for items that you want the whole team to see and that can be set far into the future, like years. A reminder can be reassigned if needed and is just another safeguard in the system to keep you and your staff organized. Time tracking. We discussed this section a little bit when we talked about matters, time, and expense. This is where you can see all of the timers that you've done and make edits to notes or any adjustments to time missed. As we've seen, there are many improvements in Lolly Law version 2 to save you time and make it easier to find the things you're looking for. If you have any questions or you'd like to provide feedback, email us at support@lollylaw.com. Until next time.